And I'm Jonah's dad, and we are watching
Star Trek Prodigy.
Welcome to My Next Generation, the Star Trek podcast where I'm introducing my 4-year-old son Jonah to Star Trek, starting with Prodigy, watching one episode at a time. In this episode, we are watching All the World's a Stage and Crossroads. Now, in this recording, my voice sounds a little bit rough. I'll let Jonah explain. Daddy's got a funny voice today, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Why does Daddy have a funny voice today?
Because Daddy was shouting and was on football.
I was shouting at the football last night, wasn't I? So Daddy's voice is a little bit funny today.
I'm a bit tired.
I am a bit tired. Are you tired?
No.
So yes, when I went to record this episode with Jonah, it was the Sunday, the night before I had been watching the Arsenal PSG Champions League final. And of course, that combined with a cold that I've been carrying for the last few days meant that my voice wasn't exactly the best. I tried to record this episode originally, this part on Sunday night, and I just couldn't. So here we are on Tuesday evening, giving it another go. I can still hear it in my voice a little bit, but hopefully it'll be a lot better. Not only that, though, this episode might be a little bit shorter because as well as having a sore throat and a sore voice, I finally came across the challenge. I think many of you who have been listening in were probably anticipating at some point of what happens when you try to record a podcast with a 4-year-old. Are we still enjoying Star Trek Prodigy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your favourite bits?
And when we got the set back.
Oh, you're happy that they got the ship back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good that they got the ship back. Do you remember what happened in last week's episodes? Do you remember the last episodes that we watched?
No.
So last time we watched it, we saw that,
That guy.
yeah, there was the Borg, wasn't it?
Hmm?
The robot ones. That was quite scary, but they managed to beat them, didn't they? Do you remember?
Who was the ball?
Yeah. And then the other one we watched is where the ship destroyed itself, didn't it? Remember?
Yeah.
That was quite scary, wasn't it? Was it scary?
Nah.
Nah, it wasn't scary. Are you quite brave?
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready?
But Daddy.
Okay, let's go. In All the World's a Stage, the Protostar crew kind of have to follow up from the Borg episode, realizing that they're really never going to have a chance to meet up with Starfleet, the Federation, with the Protostar, but they still decide to do good, and they've responded to a distress signal from an M-class planet. Now, when they get there, they discover an alien race who call themselves Enderprizians, and they imitate Starfleet, calling them Starflight. And straight away, I knew we were in for a good time because I recognized what they were doing, the characters. There's two characters that meet them. One imitating a certain William Shatner, down to a T with the acting style. The other imitating Sulu. So they go with them and they realize there's a mysterious disease that's afflicting the villagers, and Dal gets infected. And they find a Federation shuttlecraft that had crashed on the planet. It was the Galileo shuttlecraft from the USS Enterprise. So that was quite a cool little thing. Now, it had been leaking plasma, poisoned the environment, and so they all worked together to get rid of the shuttlecraft and seal the cave. At the same time, Zero is working to discover a cure. And look, I feel like I'm sounding like a little bit of a broken record, but I like this episode of Prodigy. I'm enjoying Prodigy full stop. I think every episode has been really good so far, and it's really, really strong Star Trek. And even at its weakest episodes, it's still very, very good. That being said, this one has some really, really nice references to the original series. There's a great part where the Enderprizians put on a play for the crew of the Protostar, and it's literally the bridge of the original series, Enterprise. All the characters are there. The names are all slightly wrong, but it's very, very clear that they've learned from Starflight, as they call them, and their entire civilization revolves around the ideals of Starfleet. It also turns out that the one who had actually crashed there was Ensign Garrovick, which is a deep cut character from the original series as well. One of the few red shirts not to die when on an away mission with Captain Kirk, by the way. again, it was a lot of fun. The section with where they discover the Enterprise shuttle as well is really, really cool. And obviously they work together to try and save the day. But overall, there's a really, again, the show's full of lessons, and there's a really nice lesson in this as well, where Dal is sick and Zero's trying to work on a cure, and one of the Enderprizians says, "We know that we're not part of Starfleet. Starfleet. We know that this is all make believe or whatever, but." We sincerely believe that we are part of something bigger, something greater, and we believe in the ideals of Starfleet. And if that's what we believe in, that makes us better or makes us stronger. And, what do you believe in? And I really like that message there. It's like to have that sort of faith in something else, to be part of something greater, it can be something. And you think about from a child's point of view, like what could something be that's greater? It can be a friendship group. It could be the local it could be your local community. It could be even just like some of the things that they get involved in, sports clubs or various like drama clubs, dancing clubs, classes. It's great to be part of something bigger than yourself, and I like that. It's a nice message to give out there. And this all really pays off really nicely when you've got Gwyn and Jank and Pog and Rock are trapped in the shuttlecraft. It's going to fall into sort of this lake of plasma and explode. And Dal's now finally being cured, and he's heard this sort of speech from this Enderprizian. And him and Zero get back onto the ship, but it needs to be crewed so that they can actually fly the protostar into the planet, down to the cave to rescue the rest of the crew. And he goes, well, this is their chance to be part of something bigger, and he takes selected members of the Enderprizians on board the protostar, so that they can be the heroes of their own story. And it's just a wonderful moment. It also leads to a very, very cool moment and a very cool thing that can happen on the protostar.
Wow.
What has happened?
They've made it look like the old ship. It's hologram.
And of course, one thing that I have loved in Prodigy is there's not an assumption that we all know exactly what the technology does. Obviously we've learned about holodecks, they've learned about phasers, they've learned about transporters, and there's another technology that is introduced, even though they surely have been using it, but it's not really been mentioned, and Jonah was curious about it.
What power?
Impulse power.
What is that?
So it's not faster than light, but it's fast.
Now, one last thing that does happen towards the end of the episode, and it does actually happen at the beginning of the episode, is Murf. There's something going on with Murf, and we discover Murf at the very end of the episode, in something that gets Jonah, again, very, very excited.
That looks like a cocoon.
It has turned into butterfly.
Well, that's what usually, yeah. Murf might turn into a butterfly. It's going to change into something else. You know what Murf could change into?
Let's watch the other episode to see.
Okay, well, what did you think of that episode? Was it scary?
No.
No. Did you just jump on my shoulders for no reason? You were scared at first, weren't you?
Why?
Will you tell me? Why were you scared?
I was scared.
Okay. You said you were scared.
I wasn't.
Okay. What was your favourite bit of that episode?
I watch it.
Okay. Does that episode get a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Thumbs up and down.
Okay, why thumbs up?
So, yeah, this goes on a little bit longer, but Jonah wasn't willing to give sort of the thumbs up, thumbs down, and the explanations that he has in previous episodes on this one. And I actually take that as a good thing. And hear me out, okay? He wants to just get on and keep watching Star Trek. He doesn't want to sort of analyze it, break it down, talk about it all the time. And that's okay. He's 4 years old. I wouldn't expect him to sort of want to do that all the time. I kind of knew that at some point we would get to this situation. So I actually think he did enjoy this episode a lot. And funnily enough, later on around the dinner table, he started talking nonstop about both the episodes that he watched that day. And it was really nice. And I'm annoyed at myself for obviously not grabbing a microphone and trying to capture them. But even this morning, and I managed to grab some audio, and I'll drop it in later on. He still talked about it. But that was All the World's a Stage. The next episode we watched was Crossroads. Yeah? Okay, let's do it. Should we watch the next episode?
I wonder what Murf turned into.
Do you just want to find out what Murf turns into?
Yeah. Husband turned into a butterfly or a wasp
Oh.
or another caterpillar.
Another caterpillar.
And we will get to Murf later on. But in Crossroads, they decide that they want to reach Starfleet, but do it through a different ship. They know that the Protostar, if it comes into contact with any Starfleet vessel, that will spell the end of the Federation, essentially. So they hide the Protostar and they go to a transportation hub. And they meet a man named Okona, who you might recognize from the outrageous Okona from the season 2 episode, I think it is, of Star Trek The Next Generation. I believe it's season 2. Oh, my word, I've forgotten already. It's the 4th episode of the 2nd season of Star Trek The Next Generation. But he's arrested. And so they end up going to try and find someone else. Now, while they are doing that, a character from a previous episode is also part of this one. Frex from the station has also ended up on this planet as well. So his escape pod is like crashed on this planet, and he's waiting for the Federation to come and help him. And it's actually Janeway on the Dauntless who is coming to pick Frex up to find out what's gone on. So we've got the situation now where the crew of the Protostar, so Dal, Gwyn, Rock, Jankum, Pog, Zero, and Murf are in his cocoon, are all in this transportation hub. Frex is there as well, and Janeway and her crew, the real Janeway and her crew, are there as well. And so obviously they end up coming across each other in various points, and then they get chased away because Frex recognizes them, accuses them of being the ones who destroyed the station, when obviously it wasn't quite what happened there. There's a big chase sequence. The Protostar, they recover the Protostar. They manage to get away. The Dauntless, though, obviously coming against a seasoned Starfleet admiral like Janeway, she knows how to take out the ship, and she does it very, very efficiently. They're not expecting it, but they are very close to the Romulan Neutral Zone. So Okona, who's now on board the ship as well, helps them sort of mask their signature, and they limp into the Neutral Zone, which allows them to escape as the Dauntless will not enter it. In fact, actually, a Romulan appears and goes, "Don't you dare come into this Neutral Zone." So quite a big episode. A lot happened in this. This is, again, it was a fun episode. I enjoyed it. Wasn't the strongest episode for things to learn, if you know what I mean. Like there were nice moments throughout it, like Dal actually meeting the real Janeway, and there's a bit where he's like, "I want to join Starfleet," and she says something inspirational, and he's not surprised because obviously holographic Janeway is like that. Oh, there is actually a nice sequence as well where they're saying goodbye to holographic Janeway when they're switching off the Protostar, because obviously they don't know when they're going to come back to the ship. They think this is it. They're going to say goodbye to her. And this is sort of a nice moment between her and the rest of the crew. But the point is, this episode doesn't seem to have on the surface of it, doesn't have the lessons that you learn from the other episodes that we've watched, such as, All the World's a Stage and so on. But it's a fun one, and it's the type of episode that you need after sort of what we've had previously, the last couple of episodes. If you think about the last episode, we had Asylum, where they came across the relay. We've had Let's Sleep in Borg Lie, which was quite a scary episode for a 4-year-old to watch. And then, of course, we had All the World's a Stage, where, it was, again, links to the original series, but it has some nice messaging and lessons to learn in there. This episode, Crossroads, is more of a let's get this story moving episode. there's some stuff that happens again with the diviner and understanding his backstory and getting his memories back and everything like that. So that's quite cool. But again, yeah, as I said, the main crux of this is just trying to get the story moving. Basically getting the crew in contact with the real Janeway. She knows who she's chasing now. Learning that Frex is literally one of the worst Starfleet officers of all time. He's like, they're easily so 6 of them, and they were horrifying, they were terrible, and it's like, turns out no, they were 6 kids. So he's genuinely, there's a reason he was on that relay all by himself. Now, as I mentioned earlier, obviously what we've learned this week is that I can't always force a 4-year-old to sit down and discuss a podcast and discuss these episodes. So we're, again, very light on what happened after the episode, on everything. I'll let Jonah take over from here.
Oh, okay. End of the episode. What do you think? Are we not talking? Does that episode get a thumbs up or
Hello, my children, to a party with legs.
He does. He turned into a person with legs. Murf got legs. That was good.
Why?
Because now we can walk around.
And one.
Yeah.
And get away from bad guys.
And get away from bad guys, absolutely.
So that one, he was so small.
Yeah, when he was a worm, he was a bit slower, wasn't he? And so he's going to be able to move a lot faster. Like, you're moving slow motion right now, aren't you? Okay. What else did you like in that episode? They met the real Janeway.
But the Janeway was good to get the set back.
Yeah, because I don't think she doesn't know if they're good guys or bad guys, does she?
Yeah, but they're good guys.
They are good guys, aren't they? They've done a lot of good. They've helped lots of people, haven't they? Does that episode get a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
So unfortunately at this point, I kind of lost Jonah. He wanted to hear the recording back. And we will talk about the recording in a second. So yeah, he wasn't able to sort of give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. He did say thumbs up and thumbs down, but then he didn't really want to expand on why they got that. And that's okay. Like, I want to stress right now, that's okay that occasionally he doesn't want to talk about them. What I will say, and I said it earlier on, is later on that evening when we were sitting down for dinner, he would not stop talking about the episodes that he watched, especially Murf. He's so excited that Murf now has legs and can run around. So he loves that. He even talked about it this morning as I was getting him ready for nursery. He's like, Murf has legs. He can run around now. And he was in a cocoon. And he just absolutely adores that. And they got away from the police. The police, by the way, who were the Xindi in this episode of Crossroads. And it was really good. And he talked about the other episode as well, the shuttlecraft. So it's okay that sometimes he doesn't want to talk about it. He's 4 years old. I wouldn't expect him to be able to do it all the time, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we are very much enjoying this show together, and he is talking about it. One thing that's been really, really funny is that Star Trek Prodigy is becoming his Star Trek really, really quickly. And what I mean by that, so in the room that I am in right now, this is sort of my office. It's also our dining room. So if you watch my other videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see I record in this room. And I've got a lot of Star Trek memorabilia and other stuff in this room as well. And I've got a lot of the Eagle Moss ships, collector ships, and he always asks about what the names are of all the various ships. But I have got a poster behind me that is a poster for Lower Decks season 5, the final season. And he pointed out and he went, "That's not good Star Trek. That's not my Star Trek." And listen, he's going to like Lower Decks. I know he's going to like Lower Decks. Lower Decks is going to come after we watch everything else. But it's so funny to me that he's like, my Star Trek is Prodigy. He loves Prodigy and he's really, really enjoying it. He's getting sort of a sense of possessiveness over it. I mean, I'm not saying he's turning into one of those fans. I don't think he is. I hope not. I hope he does. Not like Prodigy's the best Star Trek and all Star Treks are rubbish. I don't think that's going to happen. But right now, this is the one that he's enjoying. He enjoys the most. And I'm really looking forward to introducing him to other Star Trek so he can see where a lot of the stuff that he's seen in Prodigy come out. Like, I think we're going to be watching the original series next. And that way he's going to get to see Spock, which he met in the Kobayashi Maru episode. He's going to see Uhura, who was also in that episode. And then obviously the Enderprizian sort of stuff. You'll see that in that. And, we'll go through TNG and you'll get all those references. And hopefully he'll remember from sort of the Prodigy stuff what comes next. So really, again, both of us are enjoying Star Trek. I want to really stress that. And he talks about it off microphone so much. And it really warms it. He's really sitting down. When he gets scared, he climbs onto my shoulders or cuddles into me. And then he just realizes that he's not scared. And he sort of cheers and he'll run around the room pretending to have a phaser. And he'll laugh and he just really gets into it. And every weekend now, he's like, when are we watching Star Trek? And if we don't have time to watch it one day, he says, we can watch it tomorrow, Daddy. That's okay. We can watch it tomorrow. So it's just this really lovely experience that I'm having with this. I also want to apologize for the audio this week. I'm not sure exactly what happens. It seems like the microphones didn't quite connect properly. And so they do sound very, very echoey for the conversations between Jonah and I. I've tried to fix it a little bit. But, obviously next time we'll make sure that doesn't happen. We'll test everything out properly before we start recording. And hopefully, after a week of rest, I will have my voice back up fully. And also, hopefully, Jonah will be a little bit more chatty on the microphones as we watch the next 2 episodes of Star Trek Prodigy, which will be Masquerade and Preludes. Now, if you've enjoyed this podcast, there's a bit of a shorter episode this week. If you've been enjoying this podcast, if you've subscribed already, whether that's on YouTube or whether that's on the podcast app of your choice, really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your support. But again, if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to get the latest episodes of these podcasts. And if you are on one of the podcast platforms like Apple or Spotify, leave a comment. What was your first Star Trek? I'd like to know. And give us a review as well. The more people who follow the podcast on these platforms and leave reviews, more people will actually subscribe and listen as well, push us out to a wider audience. And on YouTube as well, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. There's a little bell notification as well, so you can get a notification when a new episode has gone live as well. So once again, thank you so much for listening. Are you singing along?